Might be a long day. Hey everybody, it's birdie time. Welcome back to the channel. Today I've got my mystery discs from the Discmania Mystery Box. I'm out at a new course to me. You really have to do that right now? I'm trying out a new course, North Florida Christian Camp. The baskets are homemade, so if I have any putts that go into the basket and kind of scoop out the back, you know I'm counting those. I'm going to be wandering around the camp, finding each hole, trying to analyze it, and then picking a disc without knowing how the disc is going to fly. I have no idea if I'm going to even be close to par today, but I'm going to do my best to shoot under par with some mystery discs. Okay, starting with the first hole, it's 363 feet, so I'm going to have to go with the DD1 for this. Don't think I can push the Essence that far. So yeah, it's going to be a tough line, but I'm hoping that we have enough stability to kind of hit the gap and then slowly move left toward the basket. It's a good start. Hopefully disc golf convention of 2 off the first tee can save me, because that's bad. Might be a long day. I think I'll use this FD for this upshot. It's probably too much disc, but I'd rather hit the line than leave anything short. Can't guarantee what kind of putt that will be. I put it close, but it got a big skip. So I thought I skipped near the basket and stayed a little bit closer, but nope, went deep into the woods, so I've got to putt back out. First putt, I'll give the link a try. Not an ideal start, but whatever, bogey on hole 1. I'll move on and see what I can do on hole 2. Looks like hole 2 is fairly close to the lake. I can't tell if that drop off goes, I don't know, 20 feet or 80 feet toward the water, but either way I'm going for a little more control, so I'll just throw a putter here. 247 feet according to UDisc, so I don't need a ton of power, just need to put it kind of close. I think I'm a few feet short, but that felt like a smooth throw. That link just swung through the air and faded out so gently. That was really nice. First putt with the P2, and it's a circle 2 putt, so this is not going in. It's actually close. I'll take that par. I had a ton of space back here, not even close to the water, so I could have thrown a lot more power. Too bad. Going Essence for this line. It's back behind the tree. Hopefully I keep it right side. I'm actually very pleased by hitting the line as I did. The Essence was going a little bit downhill, but it was a very, very straight shot. Did not have any fade to it, which is fine. If I had gotten some fade, I might have a circle 1 putt, but that's okay. The distance I'm pretty happy with. The line I'm happy with, so I have some sort of opportunity with the P2. So close. Chalk it up to disc ignorance. Otherwise that would have definitely gone in. Well, 2 pars, that's not bad. Well, here's hole 4. I might not stand on the, well, there's no tee pad, so I might be a little bit far from the post, but I'll be thrown over here. You can see that. I can't because the glare is really bad, but I'll just throw it from dry ground somewhere. UDisc says 379 here. I'm not sure if it's quite that far, but I'll be throwing my DD1 because it's probably the only disc that I can get anywhere close to the basket with. I was thinking way too much about my footing and not about my line. And of course the disc is a little bit stable. So not the best shot. If I had actually thrown off to the right, it would have been pretty good. Kind of a stable putter. That'll work. So we've got ourselves 183 feet that way. So just on the other side of this building, I'll just chuck a putter over the top, hopefully not lose one of my 8 mystery discs on top of a building. That would not be great. Too bad I don't have a catch cam for this, but I'd be more likely to hit the camera than the basket anyway, so it's whatever. I hit a tree, and it's probably very helpful because I threw that way too hard. So the basket was a little further left than I was really thinking it was. Still good that I hit something to slow me down over here because I was going to go past the teeing area for 6. But at least this is a putt. That's a birdie. First birdie gets me back to even, and I couldn't see the basket because it was over a house. That was fun though. This one's a little bit hard to see. It's a leaning basket through the trees. So this line's gonna be tough no matter what. Even if I hit my gap, I don't really know the discs well enough to think that I can drift something to the right. So good old Anheuser's coming out, and I'm gonna throw probably the MD3 to kind of give it a try and see how overstable it flies, or if it's just stable or whatever. Okay, time for the MD3, see if it can hold an Anheuser. Well, that's short. I liked how the disc flew though. A little Anheuser on it, and it didn't really hold the Anheuser. It swung out of it kind of fast, but didn't dump left either. It kind of got that little bit of glide, but it's nice to get a throw with the MD3. I think I have a little more confidence with it as kind of a stable but not overstable mid for upshots. Definitely could have gotten more power on it as well, but again, that's okay. I wanted to hit the line first and foremost. I could probably throw this upwards of 300, but I'm not used to it yet. Pretty much an impossible putt. If I hit chains, it's probably just falling out. Well, I missed by more than I thought I would. Was definitely afraid that wouldn't stick. Only 230 to the next hole, but it's a forehand line. I feel like I'm really lacking any type of height to be able to throw something with a turnover line or an Anheuser line. So I'll just go with the FD forehand. No guarantees that this gets anywhere close to the basket or even much closer to the basket, but hopefully I'm in a spot where I can get there for a par. As bad as that was, I think I can get an easy par from there. Easy might have been a slight exaggeration, but I should be able to get this. That should be fine. I thought it would fade in a little more. Par is par. Alright, this hole, you can see it through the slats in this fence. It's a 325 foot hole, but it's a par 4 because there's just stuff in the way. I'm gonna see if I can break this hole. Well, you're supposed to go left side according to the kind of fairway layout. I think there's just big enough of a gap for me to go over this fence through that gap, and the natural hyzer will take me toward the circle. I'm not saying I'll get there. I would love a 70 footer for eagle, honestly. That'd be just fine by me. Take a birdie, that would be great. As long as I get out of this gap. That's short, that's way left, but I hit the gap and that was pretty fun. I don't know about 70, but I got it within 100. Caught metal on the eagle run with a disc that I have putted with 4 times. I'll take that. I'll take that. Easy birdie. From what I can tell, I'm supposed to be throwing near that post to this basket. Not that far, 211 feet. But this little shack thing here is kind of in the way. And there's not really a line. I think I'm going to just throw over the building, because that's the way to throw a putter with natural fade toward the basket. Otherwise, I'm not sure if I'm misunderstanding the hole or what, but we're going for this. I won't lie, that branch was helpful. I was hyzering pretty far left. Some sort of putt. I didn't end up very close, but at least I didn't hit the building. So, calling that a win. Close. Another par. Right over there across the road. So I believe the distance is 286. That's kind of a tricky distance because, I mean, under 290 I shouldn't be throwing a driver unless it's a cap wrap or a certain, situation. I don't trust the splice to go 290 feet, but I don't want to throw a mid if it's too stable and I'm just not going to get the distance. So I'm a little bit torn with what I'm going to throw here. I'm wondering about the FD, just kind of putting some hyzer on it out to the right side, but I might try the Glacier. It's probably too stable, but I don't know, it might be fun. I've decided to go risky, fully acknowledging this is not the best way to throw this hole. If I were going for the best way to throw this, I would just play out to the right side with either the FD or even the DD1, whatever, to just put it on some hyzer and just skip it in. I'll go with the Glacier and try to flex shot this straight down the middle. Not strategic. My. That's a really good sidewalk because I was going way past. I don't know if this is 286. According to the rangefinder, it's 286. So that Glacier is either really, really glidey, or I just put the hurt on an anhyzer line like I almost never have in my life and threw it far. I don't know. I feel really great about that though. That thing was flying by the basket. I was super lucky. I should have ramped over the sidewalk really deep, but I hit the side of the sidewalk and deflected back in, let's see, just outside the circle, at least back toward the circle. I'm just inside the circle. I don't have a ton of trust in the P2 for edge of circle putts, but I think I can draw this one up and maybe chain out. That'd be pretty fun. Called it. Bad news is I missed my putt after hitting a branch and hyzering across the chains. Good news is I like the Glacier prototype. Man, I would have easily thrown 330 with it on that anhyzer line. It is not beefy like I postulated in my video that it might be wildly overstable because it's a Gannon disc. It's really not. I think the fade was pushing it to flat, but it didn't just hyzer out on me after I put a little anhyzer on it. I have a feeling the Glacier and I are going to be pretty good friends. Alright, I'm going through all those trees to that basket. So I can't find the tee area for this. There's no post anywhere. There's no spot that looks like there used to be a post. But this is the, what do you call it? On the UDisc map, this is where the tee is. I think I'm wrong, but I'll just chuck it down that way and hope I get close. If it were me, I'd probably put the tee over to the right so you could throw along the road. Honestly fine. Got through the gaps and got close. So the smart thing is to not run the putt and take an easy par on the left side here. The thing I'm going to do is a hyzer gap right over here that I can putt through, and it might go in. It probably won't, but it might. Could have been disastrous, but we're good. So we've got a 489-foot par 4 here, kind of out this low ceiling gap across, well, along the road, past whatever, down the road, and you can probably see it back there by that fence. I'm going to probably throw the essence off the tee. I think that I can get it to drift just a tiny bit to the right and kind of stay straight. I like to get a little distance, make the birdie easier on myself, but it is a tiny bit riskier because if I hit a tree, birdie is gone. Birdie's gone. So stupid. So one problem with this shot is that there are a couple of vehicles parked on both sides of the road. If it was just my car, I've already hit my car with a disc before, so I'd be kind of more fine with that. Unfortunately, there's only so much that I'm going to even give this, because if it gets a little away from me and swings, it could do a little damage. So I'm going to do my best to avoid damaging somebody else's vehicle. Bad news, good news. Bad news, I screwed up. Good news is I hit my car, not someone else's. You can't even tell. Plus, my car is kind of crappy, so whatever. So I've been calling out a couple of negative things that then happened. I think it's time to start calling out positive things. Maybe those will happen instead, because I keep doing detrimental things on accident. We're gonna pretend like that worked out. Save the par. That's good enough for me. Well, you won't be able to see this one the best. It says it's only 217. It's over the vehicles, so once again, I'm gonna do my best to completely avoid them. I'm gonna throw the Glacier on Anheuser. Hopefully just keep it high and out and just drift in. I don't know. I mean, the line is forehand, but I'm not forehanding with a car in the way. Well, that was a clear failure. I didn't really commit to the angle, I guess, because I threw that too high, and it just didn't go to the right at all. I'll give this putt a run, but I think this hole was kind of doomed from the start. I was never going to take this birdie. Just needed to get to the left, or to the right of that, and it would have been great. I don't think I'm in danger of switching from the Wardens, but I'm really liking that P2 as a putter. It's been a good putting experience today. It's hard, it's tough, and it has a good amount of stability, so that if I'm hanging it out right, it's coming in, but it's not, overstable. It's nice. Hole 14, only 183 feet, but I think this one requires getting fortunate, because I'll be 45 feet short if I don't hit that very late gap close to the putting green. And I haven't hit a circle 2 putt yet, so I don't expect to. It would be nice, though, to take a birdie here, so C2 or not, that'd be cool. Basically exactly what I expected. I was going to hit something. As I'm looking at how impossible this putt is, I'm kind of thinking maybe I should have thrown the splice, try to skip it in from the outside. First circle 2 putt, and it is the hardest putt that I've had as far as likelihood of actually making it. That's ridiculous. I will take it. That's a birdie. The pool is being very loud, so unfortunately that's the noise pollution that we're going to deal with on this shot. Baskets across the field. It says 333. I would think the DB1 would be the shot for me, except there's no way to hang it out to the right and have it fade in. I don't think I can throw a 300-foot Anheuser, so I'm going with the Essence. I think its stability is better for the line, and I'll be short, but there's every chance that I can throw it straight at the basket pretty much the whole way. That was solid. I'm gonna try the DD1 for fun. Honestly pretty good, but like I said, I mean, even with some Anheuser there, it just swung out and got a big skip left. At least the Essence didn't swing out as fast or go as far left. Well, I really would love to kind of see this putt framed up and hit, so I'll put it a few extra times, assuming I missed the first one. We'll give it a little run over the bushes. That was so close. That was the top of the cage. Smacked it and fell straight down. Too high. Yeah, that's bad. Oh, it's too low. Oh, so close. I'm gonna run him 4 more putts and see. Hey. Oh, past it. Drop in. Cash. Took me 6, but I made this putt. I mean, that's a tough putt. I'm glad it only took me 6 tries. That's a par I don't mind at all. Well, we've got about 230 up the hill. I really want to throw the MD3, but I'm a little bit worried without any space on the right that it'd be a harder Anheuser shot than just throwing the link kind of straight at it. Although I think both of them will end up a little bit left of the pin. Forehand is probably actually the play. You know what? I changed my mind. We're gonna forehand the splice. So I have exactly 0 throws with a splice, period, let alone the one that I just got the other day from the Discmania box. I'm gonna try to get this 200 and some feet away from me. I have no guarantees that it will be toward the basket, but we're gonna do our best to actually have a birdie look. Oh, I didn't get over on it enough. You know, it's actually a birdie look. My own fault for going with the splice, but neither the MD3 or the link actually got much closer. They're a little more open, but I mean, this is still a look. They're just a little bit easier of a putt. It's a putt I'm probably not making anyway. I think I just made that. Unless that bounced out, I just made that putt. That's gotta be, I mean, it's gotta be a 60-footer. 64 feet. Planting with my right foot to straddle out of the brush. I mean, that's quite a putt. Freaking made it. P2 Pro Putter D-Line Flex 2 Discmania. Oh yeah, what a putter. All right, next one, 17, is down this alley. You'd think, okay, tough shot, but not too bad. Well, the tee pad is supposed to be at this corner, so I don't know how I'm supposed to hit this line. Okay, there have been no tee pads all day, and I've kind of been making reasonable assumptions as to how far away from the post I'm supposed to be when I throw. This is the first one I'm actually going to say, I'm going to go over here, because I really would think that a fairway would make sense to be over here. Still a tough shot, but At least you can throw it that way and make distance. Maybe I should throw the FD. I only threw it once, right? I think I've only thrown the FD once. I changed my mind. For the sake of variety, I'll go with the FD for this shot. But I think Essence would do well. Okay, I think the 0-1 compares to the -1-2 of the Essence. I think that's right. But either way, I'll try to blast it down. I'm not going to talk about obstacles because I have so far talked about obstacles and then hit them. But I've lately been talking about making putts, or having putts and making them. So change my approach on things here. Get it? Okay, a little left, but that's fine. I'm very happy with that. I don't know if the Essence would have drifted a little more or not, but good enough. I have a putt. Okay, this putt has me nervous because I think I can't make it. No, because it's way easier than the last 3 putts, which I hit the cage, and then hit again. This is much easier, it's much simpler, so therefore I'm actually nervous because you would think that I should make it. Too low. You'd think. Opportunity turned into par. Always a little bit sad, but I mean, no circle 2 putt is ever a guarantee for me, so it's not something that I'm disappointed in. It's not a regret. It's just dang, I wish I made that putt. That would be sick. You can't quite see this basket, but it's just down this road, and then before the road actually bends back to the right, the basket's just on the left. So it's like 215, 213, something like that. I'm torn for the tee pad here because I like to stick a few feet off of the post, but I don't want to throw out of the sand. So I'm thinking about going to the right, but then I feel like I'm giving myself the advantage. So maybe I'll go off the sand. Maybe here. Actually, I'm gonna go right here. I'll compromise. That is tragic. I went over the basket. I was a little bit left of it, actually, probably over and left of it. And if I had hit anything, I would have sat right in the circle. So I thought I got a little bit unlucky and just missed everything. Turns out it's actually just really open back here. Not unlucky, just didn't really look at the green like I should have. And if I had held out a little bit wider, I would have been able to hit the road and park it. All right, that is the way to finish. I'm pretty sure that I had 3 circle 2 birdies and 3 circle 1 birdies. So, and one of them was that easy par 4. So my C2 putting actually was fantastic with the P2. I'm very much impressed. It was fine in the circle as well, but I think with that kind of up close, I really was relying on putting normally, and it just had a little bit difference to it. Not terrible, but enough to miss 1 or 2 putts that I think I should have made, maybe. Let me know which of these discs surprised you and was actually a really good flyer for me, or maybe didn't fly as well as you thought it would. I'd love to hear about it. Well, I don't want to complain one bit about the Gyropalooza box, but I felt like this Discmania box was quite a hit. I had fun throwing all of these discs. I wish there were a couple more lines where I was pulling out the splice for a skip shot or an overstable kind of crashing shot. Maybe I just didn't think of it in the moment, but I'm glad that I at least pulled it out once. It wasn't a great shot, but that's okay. Actually, I think I'm going to go throw it once or twice so that you guys can actually see me get a shot with the splice at some point, and see a little bit of how it flies. My only other regret is that I left my Glacier in the woods because I just chucked it at a basket. I'm going to go get that in just a couple of minutes. It's the only one that's not here at the moment. So I ended up not using the link quite as much as I thought. I ended up putting with the P2 and really, really liking it. But I had a few great tosses with the link, put it somewhat close to the circle several times for a few opportunities. The P2 showed up and carried my round. I cashed a few close and a couple of really long, nice putts with the P2. Hit metal several times from further than I thought I would be catching metal from. I threw it once or twice. It has a little less stability than the Link, I think. But either way, it can be thrown. It's totally fine for that. But man, did I find it was good on the putting green. The FD was pretty similar to what I was hoping it would be. I haven't thrown it enough to say, but I hit a gap with it, just straight down the gap with a gentle fade. It definitely had some flair to it, but it wasn't a ton of flair. Still gave me a circle 2 look, and I like it. It's control driver. It's good stuff. So I might be bagging this, at least throwing it more often and seeing how it flies. MD3 was great. I only threw it a couple of times, but it is what it is. It's a mid-range with a little bit of stability to it. It definitely doesn't have that over-stability that my Taco does, but I found that it was always going a little bit left, never just like suddenly going to the right inexplicably. So it's good, it's reliable, it's a good plastic, has a great feel, and it was nice to throw it a couple times. The Essence was definitely a winner for me. I like the controllability, the gentle understability, the gentle fade with a little flair. I really enjoyed throwing it, and it was a great disc. It was pretty similar to what I was hoping it would be, and it might be around for that 330-foot shot in the future. DD1 was fun to throw around as well. Definitely has that touch of overstability to it. You're not going to get this, well, I'll say I wasn't getting this to hold. It's Anheuser. Always going to fight out of the Anheuser and get that fade, maybe that skip at the end as well, even with an Anheuser shot. It's a good disc. I don't know how much more I'll be throwing it, but it's a good disc. I enjoyed throwing it. I went and grabbed the Glacier, so I have it. I didn't lose it. The Glacier, man, that first throw with it just absolutely surprised me. That Anheuser, it just held it, slowly fought to flat, and just glided out. It was going way past 300, which I really don't tend to throw mid-ranges over 300 feet. So from that first shot, I was very impressed with the Glacier. I'll be giving it a lot more time figuring out exactly how it flies, and you're going to see at least some other videos of the Glacier on the channel soon. Overall, I really had a blast. Shout out to Mike from Moontree Dies once again for inviting me to play at this course set up on the campground. It was really fun. I honestly thought that the baskets would be worse. They actually performed pretty well, so I was kind of impressed with that. I enjoyed the shot shapes. I enjoyed a lot of the lines. I thought the distances were pretty fair. There were a few easier shots, but the shortest shots were not the most open shots. So I think they did a pretty good job setting up the course like that. I think it's pretty accessible for any new players. They're going to have a blast. And for people who can play disc golf and have been playing, there's still some challenging lines out here. So that was really fun. So I think the splice can work for this shot. I basically have to play it at the pavilion over here and just miss that corner post, hyzering in and get a skip through the trees to actually access the circle. Otherwise, it's a bit of a risk to throw a putter in this area. Exactly what I was hoping it would do. That's a splice for you. Won't go for much distance, but I'll try to put a little Anheuser on this and just swing the splice over and skip left and try to get it near the soccer goal. So it wasn't really Anheuser on that one, but I had a tiny bit of Annie and pushed a tiny bit right and swung it in, similar to what I wanted. A little Annie and I would have probably put it in the goal. I'm torn between trying the forehand and dropping it in from the left side or going for the skip shot. So obviously I'm going with the skip shot because it's ridiculous. Hit the ground too early, flared too early. I'm gonna finish off the video with just 5 more throws here. I'd like to get something with a little bit of Anheuser in the mid-range category, and then one more try with the splice, see if I can actually hit the angle and swing it across. There it is. It won't get all the way, but that's right. Oh, still not enough ante. I'm kind of worried about running into the post, blocking the whole camera. That's better. That's more straight at it. Short but good. A little ante. I kind of like that for the uphill. Just didn't throw it high enough. Oh, that's so nice. It is stable though. Just rips out of the hand. Love that disc. Yeah. That my ace. Drop. It's a good disc. As always, thank you so much for watching and supporting me. I always appreciate it. I'll catch you guys on the next one.